Welcome, nerds, to the gaming and tech news for the week. This is a clip that has been taken out of the main show, The Week in Nerddom, which goes up on the main channel, youtube.com/generallynerdy. In gaming and tech, we like to talk about, well, you know, gaming and tech, trailers, announcements for new tech and games and consoles and everything in between that is gaming and or tech related. So this week in gaming and tech, all of this stuff happened. Next up, we have gaming and tech, and we have actually a potentially big week ahead of us, but not exactly a huge week behind us to report on. So we have Apple in the news, obviously. We have Microsoft coming up in the news, so we're going to talk about some expectations. We also have Summer Games Fest to talk about, so let's do that, shall we? First up, we have a new trailer in the gaming and tech section. It's for RoboCop's Rogue City, the game we have been keeping tabs on since it was announced. This first proper trailer, actually no, it's not, I take it back, it's gameplay footage. It would seem, anyway, that it's gameplay footage. This looks pretty incredible. Obviously, next generation or current generation consoles. I gotta stop referring to them as next generation. We've been in this generation for, I don't know, about 2 years now. So, yeah, current generation consoles only. And this, I mean, I am seriously blown away by this. The developer has said that they want to capture the visceral nature of the movies and the violence and such that you get from the movies. And if you watch this gameplay, that's exactly what they're doing, and just in general, the engine that they're building this game in looks beautiful. So yeah, definitely go check out this new gameplay footage, trailer, whatever the hell you want to call it. Let's jump now into regular ass news. We have, first thing in this subsection is Apple has shown us the Apple Vision Pro, their augmented reality headset goggles and such, and so the long and the short of it is $3,500. So this is not for regular people. This is a peripheral for people with a lot of money and giant Apple fanboys, because nobody else is going to buy this. Hideo Kojima, during the Apple presentation, did say that he is going to be bringing future Kojima Productions, rather, projects to all Apple platforms, including the Vision Pro. So you will be able to play Death Stranding in VR on the Vision Pro, which is great. Like, that's awesome that more people are going to be have the potential to play more Hideo Kojima projects, but like, how many more? Like, who's really going to be dropping $3,500 on some AR glasses when you can do PSVR or Oculus or things that are much cheaper? There are some gimmicky elements to this that probably are going to be the excuse that a lot of Apple fanboys give for getting this over a cheaper and potentially better alternative, but maybe in the next iteration, the Apple Vision Pro 2, we'll see a more reasonable price point and more legitimate reasons to participate. There are a lot of cameras in this, and that's cool, but I don't know, it seems overly gimmicky and overly expensive for me, and that's where we're going to leave that. Next up, we have another AI experiment going on social media, and that is Instagram has announced that they are going to be dipping their proverbial toes into the AI pool. What that means still seems a little vague, but it does seem that there's going to be options to include an AI chatbot into messages that you have into your DMs, so that you can respond more colorfully, or just like an email chatbot. It's similar purpose, but that's about the extent that I have seen so far. Once we get a little bit closer to the actual rollout or proper presentation of this, then we'll probably have a little bit more to go on. But right now, it seems that that's the main extent of this AI. So that's all we've got. Next, let's move over to the Microsoft Games presentation that is scheduled for this coming Sunday. Microsoft has they've been playing around on the social medias and saying things that are leading us to believe that this is going to be a rather big opportunity for them. It sounds like all of their first-party games, well, the vast majority of their first-party games, because they didn't say all, but the vast majority of their first-party games are not going to be pre-rendered cinematics for their presentation or their announcement or what have you. Notice, though, I said first party because they can't really control third-party developers, but first-party stuff is all going to be at the very least in-engine presentation. So it might not be gameplay per se, but it is going to be the same engine that powers that gameplay that we're going to see footage from. So that's pretty awesome. They did leave open a little caveat of there might be some stuff that is pre-rendered, but the majority is going to be in-engine or in-game even. So that's pretty awesome. As far as expectations go, I mean, obviously the big elephant in the room is Halo. Halo Season 4 does launch very soon, so they'll probably talk about that. Though the industry buzz is that they're very likely going to be talking about the certain Affinity project that is Halo related as well, and that seems like a little bit of a stretch because we still have very, very little information about that. There's still very little known. I feel like, I mean, that would be a great way to announce, but it just doesn't feel like that is the direction that they're going to go. Previously in events like this, previous years in E3 and so on and so forth, stuff like that does get announced that we have very little on before kind of flounders for a while, and then some of it doesn't get released. I had a very specific example of that in my brain just a moment ago, but shiny things. So but yeah, so Microsoft, they very potentially could pull this off better than Sony. I think that is a strong possibility because Sony's presentation was so lackluster by the previous year's comparison and most presentations of this nature's comparison. But I don't know if it's going to be as big as a lot of the Xbox fanboys want it to be. I think there's going to be, very hopefully on my part, I think they're going to play it safer than they did last year, because if you remember last year when they had their big announcement presentation situation, they laid out a 12-month timetable, and that did not go over well. That didn't age well at all. So hopefully they have learned their lesson, though this is still the games industry, so probably not. But hopefully they've learned their lesson. They're going to only give us information that is solid and not just hopeful that the upper-ups at Microsoft want to happen. That is certainly unrealistic. So yeah, that's what we've got for Microsoft. And then over on the Games Fest that is scheduled for Thursday, we already know that we're getting a bunch of new game footage. Very specifically, I'm thinking of the Mortal Kombat 1 footage that is just like, I can feel the bugs crawling over my skin because of anticipation and just awesome. Yeah, as far as what else to expect from the games, I don't really know. Jeff Keighley, the promoter, the guy who puts this on every year, who hosts this and the Game Awards, has said that he hopes to one day get the Summer Games Fest, Games Show rather. He hopes to get it to the level that it is an E3 replacement. He was very clear that that's probably not going to be this year, since this year is the first year that E3 is just officially canceled. Well, I mean, COVID and whatever, but like now it's probably not going forward canceled. I don't think that this year's going to be an epic year as far as the Summer Game Show goes, but I do think it's going to be epic for Mortal Kombat fans because Mortal Kombat 1, baby. Anything beyond that is just going to be a bonus for me, honestly. So those are the expectations that we've got. We have, that's everything for regular ass news. So let's jump into gaming and tech suggestions. We're going for 3 weeks in a row, baby. Zelda. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Still playing it, still having a whole boatload of fun with it. My girlfriend and I both just can't stop. We kind of have to like bargain for who gets the Switch to play their game of Zelda, and so yeah, this is our recommendation. This is just a whole hell of a lot of fun, man. Like I can't put into words. Go watch all of the other videos of the how-tos and all of the map analyses and all of this on YouTube already, and you'll see just how ravenous not just the hardcore Zelda fan base is, but everyone is for this game. That's why it's our recommendation. It's just incredibly fun. I honestly tried to think of something else. Street Fighter 6 came out this week, where I was like, yeah, but I'm still playing Zelda. So that's your recommendation for gaming and tech this week. Once again, this is just the gaming and tech section. It is a shortened piece of the much longer news show that I do over on youtube.com/generallynerdy, which is the main channel. There's a lot more music and comic books and movies and TV shows, etc., that can be found over there on the regular show. Thank you for joining me here, though, nerds. Before we go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.